Okay, this is the follow-up from MTW, the call we made on Thursday night. These are 5-minute candles. Remember, we had a potential trigger price of 15.59. It triggered in the first 5 minutes, and that's one of our rules. We don't take a trade that triggers in the first 5 minutes. So this had it triggered right here. But what we did was doesn't mean we won't take the trade or won't take a trade in it. We'll just put it on hold till later. And we did call this later in the day. This was a no trade up here because it triggered early, and we don't like the early volatility. Okay, that doesn't mean we won't call any trades in the first 5 minutes, but something that we have a trigger price on versus a gap play that we had in the pre-market. A gap play we had in the pre-market, we might take in the first 90 seconds, depending on how it sets up. But MTW, we already had a trigger price on it based on the daily candles. If those trigger in the first 5 minutes, we pass. Look for another entry later. I did call this one later in the day at 15:38. Get my drawing tool up here, which was right here. You know, people ask me, hey, do you ever have losing trades? This is a good example. 15:38. Worst case stop, I think, was right here at 15:23-ish. So about a 15-cent loss per share on it. So MTW, and you can see it did close strong. Closed all the way up here, but right here. But I didn't really watch this one the rest of the day. Didn't make any other calls in it. So MTW actually was a losing trade, but I do want to share with you. You hear us talk about low risk entries all the time. Got some great examples from Friday. EXCI, we called it 1871, right here on this candle. Worst case stop down here. 8 cents below, never got hit. From 1871, this thing broke through 20 late in the day. That's a huge gain on 8 cents risk that never got taken out. So XCO, very nice. A couple other examples. MCO, we called right here, based on 5-minute candles after the waterfall setup. MCO 25.52 entry, worst case stop, 15 cents below that never got hit. And from 25.52, this ultimately went to 26.28 over here. But anywhere in here, you could have taken some nice profits, and the original risk was only 15 cents, never got stopped out. So MCO was another example. Rambus was a different kind of trade, a gap play. Okay, these are daily candles. Nice gap up above all of this trading. Okay, so we had it on watch. Going to fives here. Did take an early scalp in this myself on a break of its early high because of that gap play. But as it came down, I had to break even stop on the rest and actually had some slippage. Our Rambus fell pretty hard, pretty quick. But we did call another one on it later in the day. Irrespective of that early scalp, to me it's important that on that gap up, you notice these are 5-minute candles, never took out the 5-minute low. So basically, you had the gap up and a lot of whippiness, but in effect, basically a long consolidation. You had to expect a break one way or the other. A lot of people short gaps up, wanting to cover as it rolls over. This one never did, so we had the potential of having some shorts caught here. And you see how it hit 24.60 here, hit it again here, and then as it crept up, I probably wouldn't have even noticed it, but one of our members, great teamwork in the chat room, one of our members typed in, hey, Rambus getting close, to sneaking out here. And so when I saw that, I said, yep, 24.61 could get it going. So it enabled me to put out a pop-up alert so everyone in the chat could see it. 24.61, stop anywhere below this base. I stop them below the tight base there, but anyone could have, didn't really put out a stop. Whenever we take a base break with the high of day to the left, you kind of pick your poison. You take the break, you can put your stop below these tight recent candles or all the way down here below the base. Give it a little more wiggle room if you want. Anytime I take a base break, I'll stop it right here real close. Anyway, from 24.61, it did get through the high of the day and ultimately went to 25.42. So Rambus, a nice little breakout there. FIS is another example. Trying to go over all the trades from Friday, but trying to do it quickly. FIS, we called right here. Put an arrow there. Right there with the worst case stop there, which boils down to 25.34 trigger. Worst case stop, 9 cents below. And from 25.34, this made it to 25.76. I mean, that's not huge, but again, I'm trying to cover all the calls from Friday. And I only have a limited amount of time with YouTube videos, so they only allow 10 minutes. APWR was a nice gap up with potential catalyst of 1110 here after this gap down. These are daily candles. It did come back up, take out that 11 high about a week ago, hit 1109. On Friday gapped up, so we were looking for a break above, a breakout on Friday to get us through this 1109 high, which could have meant more upside. But APWR is one of those that just went sideways almost all day. I called it on 15s. I really like the setup. Okay, you had consecutive. These are 15-minute candles. Here's Friday's opening candle. You had consecutive lower tops. Your opening top, a little bit lower high, a little bit lower high. So I liked it the first time it broke a previous 15s high, which was right here, with a worst case stop here. And you can see the thinking is the 15s break should get us through the high of the day because they were so close to each other. I'll give you the numbers. 1587. You had the high of the day. 1589, so you would have thought 1587 could have got us to 1590 and maybe started a breakout, but instead 1587 worst case stop. I don't know why I'm saying 1087 worst case stop 1077, and you can see it did trigger right here and stop right here for a dime loss. So APWR never did follow through. We did say later in the day it could work on a high of day break, but we were running out of trading day there, and it did break the high of the day and close strong. But I didn't take a late day trade in it. Another example of, again, this is why you don't always see us post every trade on the wrap-up, on the results page, because it's just tedious. We call a lot of small stuff with tight risk rewards, but just too time-consuming to post them all. We called ALGN later in the day around 1660, so we only post the highlights on that page, but 1660 right here. Worst case stop right here, and the stop never got hit, and it did get through 17. So I mean, a decent little trade there, not really worthy of a results page highlight, but I don't know why it does that. NCR, another example, called it 1413, right here, right in this area here. Worst case stop. I think less than a dime below, and it made it to, let me get the drawing tool out of the way, made it to 1451. So again, another nice little potential profit on very little risk, just not worthy of going over. KERX we called at 1429, which was right about here. Worst case stop right here, less than a dime below, and it went up to 410. What's wrong with me today? I'll tell you what's wrong. We called it 429. And it went to 450. I'll tell you what's wrong is I was up at 1 in the morning last night getting my Florida initiation. I've lived here for a year, but getting my initiation on an AC condensate clean-out line. In Missouri, you have a little plastic hose that goes from your unit, your inside unit, down to a floor drain. Okay, very easy to clean out. In Florida, you have a pipe coming out of the ground by your outside AC unit. You have to put so I'm in some bushes at 1 in the morning with a shop vac and my hand kind of making up the difference and trying to suck out an AC condensate line. My wife was upstairs with a different shop vac on blow trying to force it down. So that was our initiation to our Florida air conditioning system. Who knew? We've been here a year and that was our initiation. So that's what's wrong with me today. But trying to cover everything here. I'm probably going to wrap this up. APWR covered that, Kirk's. So again, a lot of small stuff, but XCO, MCO, very nice risk rewards, and overall just a great day on Friday. So if you have any questions, shoot us an email. Otherwise, we will follow up next week with a new pick. Have a great rest of your weekend.